Hello everyone, it's Brenda Quintana here, and I'm bringing you a recording today because I'm at On Stage in Houston, and I'm sure I'm having a good time, but I didn't want to have you miss out on a Friday. So today I thought I would do a fun fold card, and here is the card that I made. This is also going to be my team swap card while I'm on stage, and I just love this card. We did this card at a team stamping night recently. One of our team members led it, and this card design originated from I'm just double checking, from Connie Stewart, but I wanted to change things up a little bit, so my card isn't exactly like her original card, but the mechanism, the way it comes together, is the same. So I've kind of simplified the card design, I think, a little bit, because I wanted my card to be a little bit flatter than hers. So this is how it works. It's kind of neat. These panels, these three panels, slide apart, and then you've got the inside of the card here. So I think that is just super cute and fun, and I'm going to show you how to make that today. And I just wanted to point out that I do have a host code running for this month. So if there's any products that you would like to buy, please use this host code. And if you spend $50, you will be getting a package of the adhesive back swirl dots sent to you the next month. So that will be April. And please use the host code if you want to order. I will have a complete supply list down below in the description of this video. I'll also have all that information on my blog. I am going to create a project sheet for this card. So if you would like to make this card and you want all the instructions written out for you, make sure you're on my email list. To get on my email list, just look down below and you will see a link to sign up. All right, let's pop over to my other camera and I'm going to show you how to make this card. Okay, so this card's kind of neat because these little panels, they kind of slide together like this, and it's so fun, right? I'm using the Fluffiest Friends bundle, and this bundle it's an online exclusive, so you won't see it in a catalog, and it has all these cute little critters and dies to match and some extra dies so that you can create different scenes. I'm also using the Circle Sayings stamp set, and that's for the greetings. All right, we're going to start off with a card base. I've got a boho blue cardstock here, and let me grab my scoring board. So this piece, it almost looks like it's 11 inches, but it's not. And this tripped me up a couple of times. So please pay attention to the length. It's 10 3/4 inches by 5.5. And we're going to put the long side up at the top and grab our scoring tool. And we're going to score at the, actually pre-score this. And we're going to score this at the 1 5/8 inch mark and the 3 1/4 inch mark. Then turn it to the other long side. And we're going to score at the 1 5/8 and 3 1/4 inch mark again. All right. Not hard scoring so far. Then we're going to fold this in along the score lines, and it really helps to have your bone folder to give that a really good press. And then we're going to fold back and do the same for the other side. Fold in and fold back. So I wanted you to know that these folds do not, there's a gap right here, and that's on purpose. So don't worry if you have this gap right here. These should line up like this. Okay. So now we're going to add 3 panels coming across here. They're not all the same size. So let me give you the measurements for those. They're all 4¼ inches across, because this is going to be a 5½ by 4¼ inch card. So let's just take a look here. There's two that are the same size, and the middle one is a little smaller. Okay, so let's just take a look at all of these little panels. You'll want to do them in the same color cardstock as your card base. So these two of these are 4¼ by 1 7/8, 4¼ by 1 7/8, and the middle one is 4¼ by 1 3/4 inches. You'll want to do the outer two panels first, gluing down, and then you're going to dry fit the center one. Make sure it fits. If you need to shave down a little bit, you can. Or if it's too loose, you could also cut yourself a new panel that fits right in the middle. So you just want to make sure that you've got those ready and in the correct order, okay? So we're going to do the top panel first. And I kind of just like to lay my panel here. We're only gluing right here, not right here, and not right here, because otherwise your card's going to be glued together. So I can just kind of take a look right here, and I know I can put glue down to about here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, put glue to there and here, and do a little box. And I know I can't go below here because otherwise I'm going to have glue right here. So let's go ahead and add this panel just to the side. And you want to just make sure it lines up on the side right here and up at the top. If you have any overhang over on this side, I have a teeny tiny bit of overhang. I can cut that off afterwards. But just make sure it's got like good alignment when it's flat up at the top and here at the side. Now we're going to do the bottom one, and we're going to glue on this side as well. I'm going to keep this here so I can see how far I need to put the glue up. And then we'll put this over here on this side. And again, you just want to make sure that it is flush on this side, flush on the bottom, and it just got a good fit. Okay, so now this piece, this is your smallest piece. You just want to see, does it fit in here? Okay, because you want to have it so it fits very exactly in here. If there's any overlap, then shave off a hair so that you've got a good fit in here. Or if you've got, this is about the perfect amount of gap. If you've got too much gap though, then go ahead and cut yourself a better sized piece for that. Now this panel gets glued to this side, okay? So now I know exactly how much of a gap I need to leave. If I want to though, I see that my pieces are just overhanging a teeny tiny bit. Might be better to cut those right now. So I'm just gonna take my scissors. That's probably because we've got two bends in the cardstock and in the original cardstock, so this piece card base when it's folded is probably just a hair shorter than 4 1/4. So I've got those trimmed off, and with this one we'll trim off on the other side in a moment. So let's go ahead and get some glue right on this side. Just want to double check to make sure I still have the right piece, the right side, and then we're going to just add that in there. I'm going to scoot that over. Just make sure it lines up on one side, and then if you need to, you can trim on the other side. Press that down. I'm going to come over here and we'll just do a little trim job. Okay. All right, make sure you've got things going on. The 2 panels should be stuck to your left side, and your single middle panel will be stuck to the right side. Okay, now we're going to play with the paper. So if you have a pattern of paper like I do, come right here. This piece measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what's the original piece. Let me grab my ruler just to double check, because I didn't write that piece down. So, oh, sorry, wrong. 4 inches by 5 1/4. 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we're going to, as you can see with this card, the cool thing about this card is this piece all splits apart. If you wanted to, you could leave gaps, but I'm trying to create this piece being all one piece, and then they're going to split apart as the card opens. It's kind of a tricky card. So what I'm going to do, I just got my piece, and now I'm going to cut them into 3 equal pieces. So let me grab my trimmer. Put this to the side for a moment. And we're going to cut these pieces at the 1 3/4 inch mark, and we'll keep them in order. 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Okay, so this one will also be 1 3/4, and you just want to keep them in order from top to bottom. So why can all of these pieces be 1 3/4 and this one in the center is smaller than the rest? It's because the gap is going to be on the top and the bottom. The middle one is going to be completely covered, and these ones are going to come down a little bit on the top. That's why they're all the same size. Okay. Now we're going to take our glue, and we're going to glue this first one right along that cut line, right along the edge of this first panel. So let's take this, put some glue on the back. If you've got a very busy pattern that doesn't need to be glued together, then you could probably not worry about keeping all of these in order. But with a pattern that's continuous, like this one where the little bees are being cut in half, it's nice to keep them all in order. So I've got that one glued down. Now we'll do the middle one, and when we glue it down, we're going to match up the designer series paper pieces. Okay, let's come down here. Let's match you up. Stick down right there. And then the last piece. Come in, and we'll just be right below that cut line. And everything should match up pretty nicely. Like that. Look at that, that's fun, isn't it? And then these all pull apart like this. Okay, so now we need to just decorate the front. And if you want to, you can grab a shape of whatever kind you want, like a label or something like that. But for this one, and since my team name is called the Bee Stampers, I thought I'd have this honey bear on the front, on the beehive, and that made a lot of sense to me. I did a beehive box a few weeks ago where I showed how to color the bear and die cut and emboss the hive. So I'm not going to show that on camera today. If you want to look back at that and see how I did those too. Just briefly, I used this die right here to die cut out this piece, and then I ran it through the embossing folder with a cane weave embossing folder. And this one was just stamped in tuxedo black and colored with Stampin' Blends. All right, so what we want to do is we want to glue this piece to the center of our panel. We don't want to glue it on the top or the bottom, so it's just going to be adhered to the center. So you can kind of see how wide this is, and it tapers up at the top. So I'm going to put glue kind of in an arc and in the center here. And then I'm going to come on here with my piece. I'm kind of looking, judging to make sure that both sides are even. That looks about even. And then I'm going to press down. Okay, and then what we're going to do is grab some dimensionals, and we're going to, I'm running out of dimensionals, aren't I? I need to grab a new sheet. I'm going to add some to the bear right here, and I've got this piece. We'll just use that right up at the top. You can use your edge pieces if you want. Time to throw that out, and then I'm just going to grab my bear. And we'll add him over here on this side right about here. And then we want to leave a little bit of room for the greeting up at the top right there. I'm going to show you how I did the greeting again. I did do this, I think, with my box as well, but so I just used the 1 3/4 inch punch. I'm going to take a bite out of the 1 3/4 inch punch, out of a piece of basic white. And then I'm going to grab my pecan pie ink pad. And this is from the Circle Saying stamp set. I'm just going to ink this up. Let me grab a scrap piece of paper, because this is going to go not stamped completely on my piece of basic white. And I just want one of the celebrates to be just above that circle. You can kind of see how that works. And then I need to die cut this top with the top of my beehive. So let's just bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine real quick. And I've got my base platform number 1. Let's put it like this. Thin die adapter number 2. A clear bottom plate. We'll grab this, and we'll just grab a piece of, this is labeling and cover up tape. It's like the top of a post-it note. You can use the top of a post-it note too, but if you do a lot of die cutting and you need to position this, it's just nice to have a roll so you don't always have to cut up all your post-it notes. And then I'm just going to run this through. So just peel that off, and so we got something that looks like that. Let's move this out of the way. And come back in, and now I'm just going to snip off on the edges here. Bring this in. I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals this time, and we'll just add 3 of those to the back. 1, 2, 3 backings that want to stick to my fingers. Okay, and then we'll just add Celebrate up top, just like that. Okay, for the inside, I've got a piece of basic white that is the same dimension as the designer series paper was. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'll grab the happy birthday. It's also in the circle saying stamp set. And I'm just going to ink that up and stamp. I like to stamp closer to the top because the way I write my cards is I start off with the name at the top and then I put a message down below. So that way it gives me a little bit more message rather than centering in the card. But the nice thing about when you stamp your cards, you stamp them exactly how you want them and not how anyone else wants them. So it's what your personal preference is. And I've got those little bees. Look, they're so cute. They're on an A block. And just remember, when you're stamping a stamp that small, you want to just use a gentle touch because it is small. And if you squish too hard, you're going to distort those little bees. Okay, so let's just add a teeny tiny bit of color on here. I'm gonna just grab my Wild Wheat Light and I'll just color the bodies of those bees just to give them just a tiny bit of pop of color, and it will bring back the yellow that is in the rest of the card. And then I'm just going to fold this over for a moment. Well, let's add some Tombow to the back of here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here. Okay, so let's fold these back. And then we'll just add this right to the middle panel, right centered, like that. That looks so good. And then when these panels slide, they kind of slide behind that hive. Okay, so it's a little tricky to get it back together. Not hard, but someone might go, oh, how does this go together? But it does slide together. And there it is. Such a cute card, right? So we go from, let's shove this out of the way a little bit. We go from this and then we slide it open to that. Isn't that cool? I love it. I love this design. And it's just a teeny tiny bit different than Connie Stewart's. Actually, I'm going to show you the card that I made during our team stamping night. Now keep in mind, when we do team stamping night, we don't know what the card is going to look like. So it's like designing on the fly. So I probably would have done a few more things to this card. So for this card, the panel, this center panel is mounted on a piece of cardstock. This center piece is a little smaller. And I glued these designer series paper panel pieces wrong. They were supposed to be scooched together, but I just went ahead and glued them. I wasn't paying attention. That's the other thing with team stamping night. I do not pay attention at all. And I think I know exactly what I'm doing, even though I'm not. But you can see how those designer series paper pieces look nice even if they're spread apart, so it really doesn't matter. But I just want to show you, so this one will have a bit of cardstock peeking up at the top and the bottom, and this one is made with I think it's called, let me just double check, it is made with the hot air balloon bundle. Okay, so this is super cool as well. Now that's just the difference. Hers is a little bit in and it sits on a panel. So if you like extra layers on your cardstock, then go ahead and do this. I like my cards to be like flatter, so I didn't want that extra layer. I wanted it to kind of be like on the base. So that's the difference between those two. The other thing I wanted to show you, okay, so here's another card that I made with my pattern, but with splitting them up. So this is another character in the Fluffiest Friends bundle. It's the cat with the flower pot. And when you open this up, oh, I guess I didn't finish the inside, but on the inside I had the little hamster with the balloon on the inside, and I did happy birthday on the inside as well. So you can it's just a little bit different if you want those panel pieces to be split. That's a certain look, or you can create one continuous piece like that. So I hope you liked those cards. I think it's just a really kind of fun, fanciful card that you can try. And it's not super hard. You just need to remember those measurements. You need to follow them exactly because the card base is a little smaller than we normally start off with. Those cardstock panels that come together, that middle one is a little smaller than the other ones. And so hopefully you'll be able to follow along and make some cute cards. So I will be back next week with my regular schedule. Tuesday, I'm doing Casing Tuesday, and next Friday, I will have another project for you. Will be a 3D project probably next week. So I hope to see you then. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll hit the like button and subscribe, and make sure you click on the bell so you get notifications when I go live. I wish you all a happy weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.